Do you remember when we first started this journey together? We ventured forth and forged a bond. Made to unite, made to perform. It was a new partnership. We found new ways to excel despite the odds. We were built for each other. It was the first time I felt like I belonged, like I was a part of something bigger. Together we faced adversity and embraced it. And with you by my side, I've become better, more durable, stronger. Because what others see as limitations, I see as strength. Our community has fueled my fire. Together we've rewritten the narrative, unlocking doors to a world of possibility. I'm proud of the journey we've taken, to be a part of something truly groundbreaking. I see a world where limitations are shattered and possibilities unlocked. Performax, empowering athletes and redefining limits for 25 years.
No doubt about that, and as we get set to begin our second semifinal, let's meet the starting fives for both teams. We'll start with Charlotte, the 2 seed. Adam Smith is number 1, Noah Lewis is number 11, Sadie Absher is number 14, Caden Bagley is number 20, and Alexander Forstner is number 55. Meanwhile, for the Bennett Blazers, they are in the red, trimmed in gold and white. Starters, number 00, Marquise Tisdall. Number 3, J.P. Pollard. Number 13 is Lucas Johnner. Number 23 is Logan Saleas. And number 50 is Tolu Ojo. And it is Ojo and Bagley that will compete for the tap-off. And it is Bagley that gets the best of the bigger Ojo. So here are the Hornets in those throwback reminiscent Hornet jerseys. And just every time I see that color scheme, it brings nostalgia to me for Grandmama Larry Johnson, those epic commercials back in the 90s.
So true, so true.
And a quick foul is called against the Hornets. Then it'll go against Adam Smith. That is his first. Who will meet the Lakers tomorrow? And I can't wait for that game. We're going to have to wait all the way to 2 o'clock. But the good news is we have 2 championship tilts that will precede it, as well as opening action on our championship court. Another quick whistle and a foul. And that's number 11, Noah Lewis. So 2 fouls on 1 possession thus far for Charlotte. And again, we saw a lot more whistles in the semifinal, the first semifinal, than we did in the opening couple of rounds.
Maybe a good foul there. J.P. Pollard had left side wide open.
Got it to the middle, got it to the bottom. Logan Saleas takes the lid off of semifinal number 2.
Great look there. J.P. Pollard, a playmaker. Look for Pollard and Saleas all day today.
Charlotte, though, quickly able to work it down into the post, and down it goes with the equalizer. Charlotte's first bucket comes from Caden Bagley. You mentioned Bagley and Smith, the representatives for Charlotte in the senior showcase game. Both looked very talented, as did most of the participants in that game. Easy to identify the playmakers for Buzz City. And an empty trip off the miss.
John, if you don't mind, I'm going to steal one of your words. Take a look at J.P. Pollard and those chair skills. That is poetry in motion. He is smooth and sleek, svelty, if you will.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a game, and you can steal those, by the way. I didn't invent the words. No trademark on those, but I think we're going to see a lot of that in this matchup here, 2 versus 3. Shot clock short, bench counting it down for Smith, but he's fouled on the floor. Foul is against Tisdall. Well, I got to tell you a quick story before we get too heated up into the semifinal. I mentioned Buzz City there. Of course, Charlotte Hornets, Buzz, you get it. But anyway, located in uptown Charlotte is the arena, the home arena of the Charlotte Hornets. As Smith battling for position, lobbing over the top and knocked away that interior defense strong from Tisdall. Was able to poke it away from Sadie Absher. One year when Virginia Tech was led by Buzz Williams, the ACC tournament was played in that arena in uptown Charlotte. And when the team was walking into the arena, there's a big sign that said Buzz City. The coach looked back and in all seriousness asked, wow, I can't believe that Virginia Tech put up a sign for me before the tournament. And everyone looked around like, who's going to have the heart to tell? Nobody did.
Was that you, John?
No, it was not. That was not my play.
Well, dangerous decision on the other side there by Tisdale. Picked up his first foul early. He had a great block, but he almost got hand there, and aggressive play that cost the teams in the last game. We'll see how that plays out.
Well, and following his shot is Logan Saleas. That goes down to raucous reviews from across from us. Saleas has the first 4 for the Blazers.
Thus far, this has all the makings of being a tightly monitored game, and we'll see if that continues. Both of these, unlike the other teams, deep benches, so the fouls shouldn't be as big of an issue.
There is one, however, big issue for Charlotte already, and that is the ball carrier right there. Adam Smith has already picked up 2 fouls for the Rollin Hornets. Early advantage for the Blazers. J.P. Pollard surveying the scene for Bennett. Again, just outside of Baltimore. Use the GPS down here to Richmond. And it should be a lane violation. Wave off the bucket. Blazers fans weren't looking at the ref, and therefore they're cheering for the basket. And they just found out it didn't count.
These are probably the same folks that are going to be chanting scoreboard in a minute, right, when they think it's 4-4.
Exultation leading to deflation. Emotion on display. Here's Smith working his way into the lane. Smith pivots, fires. Couldn't get it. And the big man with the big rebound, Marquise Tisdale.
Tisdale just a force underneath, and he's going to have a lot of one-and-dones for Charlotte.
And that chair got off the ground, and it'll be a foul. Well, that's the second now on Noah Lewis. So 4 fouls as a team for Charlotte, but unfortunately they're clumping up on Adam Smith and Noah Lewis. And a timeout taken by Charlotte because I believe Preston Howell just realized the precarious situation his team is in. Less than 4 minutes gone by.
Well, they're on pace for 40-plus fouls if this pace continues, John. So I think you got to calm down, realize that, yes, we're in the semifinals, and it's important. But again, that adrenaline goes a lot of ways. Sometimes adrenaline shows up as long passes, shots that go long, just the, not unable to control that adrenaline for that first time. Here we're seeing it in the defensive struggles and even the offensive struggles, a lot of fouls. So I think you'll see a veteran coach like Preston Howell calm his team down. Fouls, if those are the only 2, and very often you'll see Smith and Lewis end the game with 2 each. It can kind of go that way. So I think a smart team can play smart. We'll see if they can make the adjustments.
Certainly that is a outcome that could happen, but it also does take away a little of the margin for error when you're kind of going for those 50-50 balls and the scrambled drills and all of those different things, and I think that is probably the message that Coach Howell is imparting at the moment. Meanwhile, Gwenna Herman, as you look at a much smaller huddle just involving her starters and floor players at the moment, I think she's pleased with what she's seen thus far. They've been able to play without fouling and have controlled the glass to this point. Yeah,
J.P. Pollard looking like the court general, or the field general that he is, dissecting well like a surgeon, and he has a small lead, but again, like you said, no foul trouble. And notice where Coach Jerry, he was back on the bench. 40 years together. Can you imagine that? Coaching together 40 years. Work together and live together. Boy, that's a heck of a marriage.
And Jerry was quick to tell you it's Gwenna's show. He's the head coach. Inside to Tisdale, lines it up, and a soft shooter's roll from the big fella. Size and touch, a rare combination.
Tisdale doing it on both ends of the court. He's been a rock, an unmovable force underneath.
So 6-2 for the Blazers, and Aaron Pass just kind of topples harmlessly out of bounds. Smith has to get situated in his chair. So 6-2, Blazers the best of it thus far on the scoreboard, and certainly as it pertains to fouls thus far. And the wheel found the sideline. J.P. Pollard's wheel did, and that'll be a turnover for the Blazers.
Great individual effort by Sadie Absher to get that turnover that the Hornets desperately need at this point.
Here is Smith challenging the other big man, but was impeded before he got there. To be a foul against J.P. Pollard.
I believe the phrase you have used is a closely monitored game, and that's what we've seen thus far. Lots of action from the officials.
And Smith got it up on the rim to desirable results.
Sadie, get off that guy. Get off. Sadie, help. Get off him.
The coaching from the Charlotte bench, monitoring the transition defense, telling Sadie Absher to back off of Pollard. But now in the front court, back up on him. Pollard left alone, couldn't get it. Spins off iron and into the waiting hands of Smith.
I like what the Hornets did there. They employed the full court press to great effect.
And an excellent back pick there as well, set by Forstner to try to keep Tisdale out of the picture. Got what he wanted, now trying to convert the bucket, and the third time's the charm.
I actually counted 4 there, but huge smile on that one from Forstner.
Persistence wins the day, but again, that back-picking strategy there of keeping big Marquise Tisdale away from the defensive end of the floor.
So backpicking is when one of the offensive players is held in check by the defense, doesn't even cross the center court.
And Smith now rolling. 2 fouls or not, Smith spins it in. The Hornets have their first lead.
Sometimes teams will backpick to keep someone out of the play, and sometimes they'll backpick to set up a 5-on-4. In this case, they had just seen enough of Tisdale's destruction under the hoop and kept him away.
Yeah. Well, we saw this early, and unable to complete the play was Logan Soleas. He's got 2 field goals already. Another opportunity on this possession for the Blazers. And we're going to whistle.
Equipment there on.
Yep, strap had come loose in the chair of Ojo. So a safety issue as it straps back in. And we'll get a couple of substitutions now for the Blazers as they will bring on Liza Robbins. Enters the game for the first time, as does David Ramos. Ramos, number 32 there in red. A little bit of a smaller lineup as Pollard fires from the right wing. What rotation! Give the Blazers the lead back.
J.P. Pollard so smooth in everything he does. That 3-pointer we had a perfect view of, and as soon as it left his fingertips, it was gold.
A 1-point advantage and a turnover. And a player ahead of the pack is Pollard, but unable to see him was Tisdale. Tisdale didn't throw it out in front. And it leads to the Hornets with an opportunity, and one coming for Forstner.
Yeah, bad decision there by Tisdale, giving up the pass. His eyes were wide open as he had Pollard streaking down the court. Ill-advised pass, though, a difficult needle to thread. He couldn't thread it, and then, of course, he committed the double sin of the foul.
And that's the second foul on Tisdale as well. So fouls becoming a factor already less than 7 minutes in. We've mentioned him on the Charlotte side. And now creeping up on the Blazers as well. Of course, they've got the 2 big men with Ojo on the bench, Tisdale on the floor. Soleas couldn't get it. Smith right down the middle, trying to maintain his chair balance, and Soleas will help him do so. As another foul.
2 shots. 2 shots. Shoot a layup. It's a layup.
And the foul, I believe, was on Tisdale. And yeah, you can see that Ojo quickly coming to the scorer's table, but Charlotte able to convert on the throw-in. And that was the 3rd foul on Tisdale. So big turn of events there. Blazers big man.
Interesting decision to stay in the game.
Well, they've got Ojo at the scores table, just hasn't gotten the stoppage he needs. There's the triple that J.P. Pollard needs, his second in rapid succession.
J.P. Pollard, the definition of smooth.
12 all, second semifinal, mirroring the intensity of the first, which was claimed by Lakeshore, and Pollard slaps it away from Smith. Charlotte will keep it, but with 13 to shoot.
Note the great defense there by Julia Palyok. Easily the shortest player on the court, but she held Adam Smith in check, frustrated the play, and ultimately they'll have to reset with a short shot clock.
So Ojo returns for Tisdale. Andrew Peffley also back on the floor for the Blazers. And this possession disrupted. It's going to be a shot clock violation despite that heave from Smith. And Smith frustrated with himself. You can see banging his head intentionally on the floor there in frustration.
That was a little harder than I might have done. It looked like he was trying to put a nail in that was loose, but boy.
Competitive fire.
Yes.
The coaches say, Adam, not a game left. Pollard heat check from the top of the key.
When you're hot, and he almost got the roll on that one.
He did. 12 all, 11:33 to play in this first half. A great pass down to Forstner, and one. What a find. Check that. That was a phenomenal find there.
Are you kidding me on that shot by Bagley? He had no business making anything under the hoop, had to do an impossible arc and made the free throw as well.
Bagley makes that free throw. Caden Bagley, that is. Great communication from the Charlotte defense as they lead by 3.
Maybe more.
And it'll be pulled back out of there. And Bagley's ahead of the pack for a moment. Pollard catches up, and Bagley feels his presence but is undeterred.
Pollard has 2 already. Couldn't afford a foul there. Had to really let it happen. But boy, just to get in place. Look at the speed. So smooth, so fast. Pollard.
Here's Bagley again. This is the largest lead of this opening half, either direction. Smith follows his shot and finds another field goal.
Clump scoring by the Hornets, but effective. They're taking it to the Blazers early here.
7-0 run for the Hornets. We were square at 12. That was also the moment that Marquise Tisdale had to go to the bench with 3 fouls.
It's a 3-dimensional attack for the Hornets. 6 for Smith, 9 for Bagley, and 4 for Forstner. Second equipment challenge
This is
here.
equipment, and it's the same player, Tolu Ojo.
So they'll fix that. Tolu Ojo. I love the way that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that's a broadcaster's dream right there. Coach's
Ojo.
dream as well when he brings the game along with it.
There you go.
So, getting some tape on that strap across the thighs there. You can see that the latch had come free. So Quenna Herman laughing as she does some quick doctoring of the chair.
Well, after 40 years, you probably learned a trick or two about these chairs. Blazers really need to stop this onslaught.
Yeah, they do. Still a lot of time left in this opening half. Shot clock down to 1. Got the shot off, but doesn't draw a rim. And it'll be a shot clock violation. So another strong defensive possession for Charlotte.
Charlotte has significantly limited their opportunities there, not finding the inside anymore, forced to these last-second buzzer-beater shots, and it's just a rough go right now.
Great pass from half court. Smith ahead to Bagley. there is finally the silencer. Not surprisingly, it comes from J.P. Pollard.
His first 2-point shot there, his first possession, he almost got the left layup, and here he finally gets it. J.P. Pollard needs to keep doing that to keep them in the game.
And an offensive foul. And that is going to be against Bagley. He was trying to clear the way for Smith. We're looking again, though, at that pass, and a thing of beauty from the half-court stripe from Smith on the prior possession. So Blazers basketball coming off that 9-0 run for the Hornets. Disrupted by J.P. Pollard. Zaleas couldn't get it. Ojo not in position for the rebound. Caden Bagley. Middle for Noah Lewis. Lewis to Smith, steadies himself quickly, got it up even more quickly. Bagley lost out on the rebound. Zaleas leads transition offense. Pollard saw an opening.
That was Caitlin Clark range by Pollard there, and great job by the Hornets to get back on defense. The Blazers were streaming down the court. They had numbers, and then the quickness of the Hornets took that away.
Noah Lewis said, if you can shoot it from out there, I'm going to try one. Didn't get it. Pollard, though, trying to save that one off the sideline. Threw it right to Bagley. Smith sailing in, high up off the glass, and the teardrop down. And a timeout taken in Prosperity by the Rollin Hornets. They've rolled up to a 9-point lead, 23-14. Here comes Smith right into your living room, and he spins it in reversed fashion to get that latest bucket to go. Hornets, a slow start in this one, Todd Pettit, but man, they have come on like a house of fire since then.
The combination of Bagley and Smith has just been uncounterable thus far for the Blazers. Combining for 19 are those two, Forstner adding the other 4, and it's been all Hornets in the second part of this first half that we've had thus far. Again, failing on our words, first half, second half, but that said, Coach Preston Howell, whatever he said in that first timeout has really changed the dynamics of this. The Blazers looked like it was going to be easy scoring, maybe a back and forth, winning the battles on the defensive side, and they're not doing that any longer. Perhaps Tisdale being out is a big part of that formula.
Yeah, it has coincided directly with his departure, and Tisdale again, Marquise Tisdale has 3 fouls. You see the big body of Tolu Ojo out there. They work better in tandem. See Ojo trying to pick a path for Pollard, and there was the pick and roll. Ojo thought he was fouled there by Bagley, didn't get the call. And now Ojo commits the frustration foul on the back end as well for the Blazers.
Well, John, you mentioned about Marquise Tisdale that, you know, usually the big guys don't have the soft touch. And there, I think we saw Tolu Ojo not really having the soft touch in the lane. He wasn't hit. He thought he was hit, but he wasn't. He just kind of had the wrong touch on the ball to make that short bunny.
So it's Charlotte ball, and now we'll see full court pressure from the Blazers. Smith will be the inbounder, but you'd expect to get him back after it does. Noah Lewis. Look at Smith barrel down the middle of your picture there. He does get it back. Trying to get it down to Bagley. Now he does. No look pass to Bagley. Bagley couldn't convert. Second chance, no, but it tumbles out to Lewis. Coach is hollering for a reset. Smith says, heck with that, but he's fouled by Pollard. That'll be 3 shots, but more importantly, 3 fouls on Pollard.
John, I think we might have seen the first time a player admitted that they fouled someone.
Yeah, he definitely, you could hear the smack on the arm from here, and then the collision out of the chair as well. So 3 at the line for Smith. And this has now become a 12-2 run for the Hornets. Smith, it's a great stroke on this. Free throws, 2 out of 3. 25-14. The Hornets, their largest lead of this second semifinal. Pollard, ball extended above his head. He'll play with 3 fouls. He got consultation from his head coach, Gwenna Herman, and I think she said, listen, we need you to be a little careful, but we need you, is the bottom line. You're staying out there. And Pollard has the rebound, and that's why they need him. Pollard, so long in those arms, and able to just snatch that rebound and put it back in.
Yeah, great play by Pollard as he had dished to his teammate, unable to make the easy look was Ramos, but Pollard stuck with the play and was rewarded.
Here is Smith. Ruiz, Bagley, yes. Great ball movement to the middle of the paint.
Bagley enters double-digit territory as well.
And 10 for J.P. Pollard on the Blazers side of the ledger. Long range effort. Go down from J.P. and it'll roll out of bounds. Charlotte will take over, leading by 11.
Coach Preston Howell couldn't help officiating there. In case they didn't see it, he was clear to let them know it was Hornets ball.
There's Ruiz, nifty little juke there. Ruiz finds Bagley, who has the mismatch over Soleas. And a sly smile from head coach Preston Howell. Game plan's working. Get it to Bagley.
Right. Ruiz had a wide open look, and yet he'll settle for the assist. And like you said, everything's working for the Hornets.
J.P. Pollard eyes it up and lines it up perfectly. As Pollard has been the answer offensively thus far. He's got 12.
Yeah, J.P. Pollard doing everything he can to keep his team in it, but he can't play the defense he wants to play with those 3 fouls.
Smith loops it into Bagley. Bagley lost the handle. It was knocked away from him, last touched by the Blazers. Taking a look again here at this last assist. This time Ruiz, and just over the top of Soleas to the much larger Bagley. Back to live action. Underneath, no, and Noah Lewis just got crammed a little too far under the basket.
Tolo Oju there, able to eat him up.
Have not seen the return of Tisdale. More than likely, if we haven't at this point, we won't in the first half. Blazers just trying to weather the storm without him.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Pollard lean back, didn't get it. Kind of like we saw in the first semifinal when Milan fouled out for the Rollin Fury. You see Pollard now trying to have to do everything.
Yep, they've become a one-dimensional offense, and Pollard, while an outstanding player and has 12, is a big load to carry against these Hornets.
Bagley this time playing the role of facilitator. 5 to shoot. The Hornets bench helping out. Ruiz said, I didn't need it. I knew the time and score. And down goes another one.
Ruiz, a great shooter in his own right. Again, that last assist to Bagley 2 plays ago, could have shot it himself. And a multi-talented Hornet team.
That time Pollard, though, let to roam free. Got it to go and one. And you can see Pollard emphatically messaging Tolu Ojo and saying, I need this from you. He's talking about on the other end of the floor. Sadie Absher trying to check into the game, but we've got a discrepancy in the book first. And we're going to go to the benches while the officials confirm something together. Yeah, they're looking at what I was looking at, the number discrepancy on the lineup sheet. It's Cameron Ruiz who scored the basket, but he is on the lineup sheet, just wasn't in numerical order. So there will be no technical foul, and Ruiz will, of course, be allowed to continue. So Great job by Court Schneider sitting there clarifying that. That's why, by the way, Todd, I grabbed your sheet so selfishly earlier. I was trying to figure out the same thing. Ruiz is listed as number 10 on the official Hornets roster.
Gotcha. Well, one thing we've learned is that the websites aren't always updated. What's in the program, about 80% accurate this weekend, but that's room for improvement, right, Sean?
Yeah, but it doesn't lead to technical fouls in our case.
That's
but they
true.
made the adjustment late after they'd already ordered the score sheet, so leading to a stoppage in the game.
All in all, it's been a well-run production here at this Henrico Center.
Indeed it has. I know I'm talking to the administrators of the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority, who of course operate the Sports and Events Center. They've been exceptionally pleased, as have Sportable, the host organization of the national championships this year. Of course, another huge weekend yet to come.
And another year to come as well, as they'll be back here in 25.
Absher got it down to Bagley. That's just too easy. It's like taking candy from a baby right now.
Wow.
On the same play over and over.
Right, and what wasn't easy though was the pass. She had to thread that needle just out of the outreached arms of the Blazer defender, and Bagley able to snatch it out of the air.
Bagley now already with 15 in this first half. 13-point lead for the Hornets, matches their largest. Again, trying to weather that storm are the Blazers. They need to do it for another 3 minutes and some change.
Yeah,
Zaleas from the corner needed it, didn't get it. Bagley has the rebound.
I think the weathering the storm is right. If they can keep this within 10, hey, in the 10-7, we saw that 10-point comeback. Anything's possible, but right now the Hornets just looking unstoppable.
Yeah, and Alexander Forstner, Johnny on the spot right there. Another great find. Charlotte, a very unselfish team. You can see sharing the basketball exceptionally well. 35-20. Lakeshore Lakers await the winner in the championship game tomorrow at 2. J.P. Pollard has been everything thus far offensively, or just about, for the Blazers. Short shot clock. See Ojo panicked a bit, but they got it back to Pollard. No, and Ojo had to back off to avoid fouling Bagley.
One thing that's been absent here is Zaleas, held to 4 points. Usually a part of the dynamic duo that is J.P. Pollard. The other half of the offense, of course, Zaleas. Perhaps Tisdale some of that with them not having to guard Marquise Tisdale. They can focus on Zaleas, and he's really been held in check.
And a foul was called here on Ojo anyway. 5-0 red was the call. That's Tolu Ojo, so it'll lead to 1-1 as we've reached the bonus. Again, 3 fouls already on Marquise Tisdale. The Blazers got off to an extremely strong start in this game, but it's been all Rollin Hornets since then.
Yeah, foul trouble and score trouble. It's they've got the double whammy.
Sadie Absher converts on the first free throw. I'll tell you, this is the most fundamentally sound team I've seen thus far in the Rollin Hornets. Again, we didn't have them in our broadcast window yesterday. Saw a little bit, bits and pieces of them playing, but not in lengthy stretches like this. Make their free throws. They're in the right spots. They share the ball well. And they're active on the defensive end. This is Ojo. They got a foul away from the ball. It's going against Forstner, I believe. Oh, check that. It'll be Absher.
Yeah, the Hornets no stranger to the big game. They won it in 2022 over the junior Rolling Timberwolves, and I believe they were a finalist last year, losing to Lakeshore. Lakeshore, of course, looking to repeat tomorrow on Championship Sunday.
And Lakeshore Lakers. It's going to be a dynamic matchup regardless of whether it's the Hornets or the Blazers, but 1 versus 2. A chalk outcome certainly looks like it would be tremendous talent in both directions. A little foul trouble plaguing both ways in the first semifinal. Forstner pushing the pace. Absher wanted the ball, didn't get it. Smith Finds Ruiz, and Ojo disruptive, but swatted it right over to Bagley. Caught rim, so the shot clock is partially reset. Absher just kind of tossed it into the clutter there. Pollard emerges. Pollard has to nimbly swivel out of the corner there as he was equaled in the speed on the way down the floor, and Bagley tugs it away from Saleas and Ojo, but then loses the handle. So Blazers will get a much needed another chance here with 1:08 to play in this first half.
Yeah, just uncharacteristic play, Logan Saleas there. Ill-advised pass. You know, his teammate was open, but the wrong pass. Lucky to get it back. And the Blazers want to have a chance in this one. They'll need Logan's services.
The inbound is going to come for the Blazers on the throw-in from David Ramos. Ramos on a slip play had Saleas, and Saleas, you can see, couldn't believe he missed that one.
I thought he was going to put one in my face like they've done all weekend, John. I say something, and then they prove me wrong, but missed the easy one there.
And it's a 4-point turnaround. Absher slid beyond the Blazers' defenses in transition, and it's an 18-point advantage for the Hornets. Largest of the day.
Yeah, they're like you said, they had to survive, and it's just that kind of day for the play. There we go.
Saleas missed the first one, and Absher fouled him on the second. Saleas an opportunity for a 3-point play here. Final minute of the opening half. Couldn't get the shooter's roll. Forstner had the rebound and leads transition. No look pass, Ruiz to Smith, and he couldn't quite twist and get it. So the Blazers trying to take a little chunk out of this lead here prior to the expiration of the half. Pollard has been the one to do it. There's Pollard behind a pick and roll. And Saleas continues to struggle down low. But digging it out of the back of Absher, he finds Pollard, and there's the bucket that the Blazers coveted. And that's going to do it for the first half. What was an 18-point lead becomes a 14-point lead, and a shred of momentum back to the Blazers, who will get back Marquise Tisdale in the second half. Halftime score 38-24. Again, it was a tale of two portions of that half. Partner Marquise Tisdale on the floor, Marquise Tisdale off the floor. With Tisdale off the floor, the Rollin Hornets dominated.
Yeah, I think what we've seen this play work out before. As soon as that offense goes from one dimension or two dimensions to one dimension, they can key on Pollard. They did a great job until the very end of holding Pollard in check, and able to score on their own. The powerful combination of Smith and Bagley.
38-24 halftime score. We are playing semifinal number 2. The top-seeded Lakeshore Lakers await the winner in the championship game tomorrow. It will be the Rolling Fury of New York for third place against the team that does not prevail in the semifinal. Much still to come from the Henrico Sports and Events Center. This is semifinal Saturday from the National Wheelchair Basketball Association Junior National Championship. John Laser, Todd Pettit back with you. We've reached the delirious portion of the broadcast window today, but that is because it has been dizzying with action here at the Henrico Sports and Event Center, including the first half that you witnessed, which featured Charlotte really just strutting their stuff. 38-24, they hold the halftime lead on the Blazers. Todd, your thoughts on that first half? Again, it was a tale of two portions. It wasn't split in half because it happened before that marker.
Yeah, what a difference a few officiating calls makes. Tisdale picking up that third foul as soon as he was taken out of the game because of foul trouble. All of a sudden, Bagley was able to feast in his presence. Shot after shot after shot. Bagley was good for 19 and just left really unguarded. Tolu Oju coming in, not able to do the work that Tisdale was doing. Whole different game with Tisdale out. They able to feast, and then, of course, only a one-pronged attack now with Tisdale with that soft touch in the lane. We saw J.P. Pollard not having that as an outlet, having to take the load on himself. Did a decent job in racking up a whole mess of 14 points, but not quite enough, and they trail by 14. And so can Tisdale stay in the game, not foul, play that same style of defense, and can they find 14 points? It's an uphill battle for the Blazers.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Tisdale that he had to sit all the minutes that he did in the first half, but also a credit to Preston Howell, his coaching staff, and his team, because when you are a team of the pedigree of the Rollin Hornets, you find a weakness, you exploit it, and you have to execute to do it. It wasn't just Bagley, it was those that were feeding him the basketball over and over. Of course, Smith is the one that picked up assists in bulk, but there were others as well, including Absher. Well, we just reached ballot collection time here today for the men's and women's, or the male and female MVP. Of course, as you mentioned, the Sportsmanship Award. We don't need a ballot in the Cheeto eating contest, my friend. I got it in a runaway. Just grabbed another bag on my way by. No reason, not hungry at all.
You just keep those orange fingers off the control board, John.
Yeah, I'm not kidding, folks. I mean, I have had 12 bags in the last 2 days for no reason whatsoever. Doing a great job, Sportable, hosting all of the fine folks who have donated food for the volunteers. All the volunteers, you see those orange shirts just omnipresent throughout the goings-ons here as we approach the beginning of our second semifinal. But it kind of dawned on me early today. You've got all the pomp and circumstance of March Madness and all the intensity of competition that you have at other sporting events, but the building isn't filled up with the love like this one is. You know, you see the victors mingling with the teams that they beat, and everybody talking and eating together. It's just it's been a wonderful experience. I know you've been a part of this community for a long time. I haven't. It has been really cool.
Edifying to see family and community.
But here is Pollard, as Todd mentioned, 14 in the first half. Offensive rebound there. You see the impact immediately made by Tisdale, who is on the floor with the 3 fouls. Pollard had another opportunity, couldn't convert it.
I'll also point out Saleas there. Saleas had the rebound. He was definitely contested, but needed to make that one. Been cold thus far.
Forstner provided the seal. Lewis could not capitalize for Charlotte. And now you see the back pick on Pollard there. There's Pollard and Saleas trying to clear for him, and then coming in the secondary cut, but a foul will stop the possession. It is a foul against Sadie Absher for the Rollin Hornets. That's Sadie's second.
Already seeing a difference in Tisdale. He's been an option. He had a post look. He chose not to take it, but now is that third option for Pollard to be distributing the ball to.
Pollard was leaning back for the shot. The whistle preceded that shot, which he made, though. And you can see the frustration on the face for Pollard.
I'm not sure what that call was, John.
Clock didn't start.
Oh, well, that's really unfortunate.
And you can see a little frustration from Gwenna Herman, kind of looking over. She said it politely. She said, "Guys, that hurts. You know, got to mind our P's and Q's over there on the clock." Obviously, unintentional error.
We all make mistakes. Lord knows you and I do.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Another one coming momentarily, probably. But that did hurt. They took that 2 off the board, didn't get it. Smith had the opportunity on the rollaway there.
Smith maybe thought he was getting a foul call there. Did the universal sign it? Are you kidding me? with the eye roll that the teenagers have down so pat.
And now we'll get a foul, offensive variety. Now we'll get some backcourt pressure here from the Bennett Blazers. David Ramos shadowing Adam Smith. Smith, however, finds the basketball anyway, and will get a lane violation against the Rollin Hornets. So, not the precision basketball we were seeing from the Rollin Hornets in the first half, and sometimes that halftime break kind of
disrupts
that rhythm that you had. That backward thrust from Bagley there to try to stay with Pollard. Pollard able to spin away. 10 to shoot. Passing instead and caromed off the wheel of Forstner and out of bounds, and thus will stay with the Blazers.
And the helping out the referee retrieve that ball was a Blazers fan, I believe, in a
tutu.
Skirt.
That's a tutu, sir.
A tutu. All right, well. Something in the water in Maryland.
Listen, it takes a confident person to rock the tutu as well as that gentleman is. Kudos, sir. You be you.
Exactly. Also in the crowd, you see a cutout cardboard held on a stick of Sadie Absher, and that one's all smiles, and she's all game face.
Yeah.
So tale of two pictures there.
Yeah, Absher is a big part of this Rollin Hornets starting lineup. Absher backpicking right now, in fact. As Pollard coast and change direction on Forstner. Eventually does get himself a decent look and a little too hard off the glass.
No score yet in this one. Slow start. That does definitely favor the Hornets.
Smith broke right through, and the reverse hand spin from Adam Smith. We call that panache.
Foot race here.
Smith into double digits though. First points of the half, 11 for the game, and Pollard nearly rocked back in his chair there. He was fouled.
Yeah, great decision by Pollard there. He was beat to the hoop on that foot race, or the wheel race, but he knew if he put it up that they were out of position, and he did draw that foul.
Hey, press break, they call it. Press break.
You hear the coach, Preston Howell, knowing that the Blazers are likely to press. He's calling for a press break.
And Pollard bowed the head there as that one spun out. It's been that kind of shooting day for him despite his gaudy offensive output. And that is the press, so the breaker on for the Hornets, and the breaker was to get it ahead to Smith. Smith couldn't reel it in with one hand. Put 20 on the shot clock.
Great job by the Blazers of mixing things up here. Different look again. Tisdale in the game, and that's changed the look of things. The Blazers have figured out the defensive stops. Now can they find the offensive glass?
Hornets leading by 15, 40-25. Absher is the help defender. Pollard got away the three, couldn't get it, but an offensive rebound, stick back down for Saleas, foul as well.
Logan Saleas desperately needed that one, not only to pad his scoring, but just to get back in it. Saleas, a very, very good player, held in check by these tough Hornets, and that's a big bucket for him. We'll see if that continues.
The foul was on Bagley, and Saleas able to convert all three. So that slices it to a 12-point deficit for the Blazers. Championship pedigree, of course. You know they're going to make a run at the Rollin Hornets at some point. Hornets know that as well. 16.5 to play. And an offensive foul is the call. And it is against Bagley, so rapid fire, back-to-back fouls. And that is 4 against Bagley, so that is critical. Bagley comes glumly to the bench, knowing that he has to sit for a while, and Ruiz will come on for him.
That is a big fourth foul. The Blazers need to capitalize on this. Bagley, a huge defensive powerhouse on the court for the Hornets, and wisely Preston Howell taking a timeout. He's going to have to readjust his defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, wise timeout there, because that happened on the coach as fast as it happened on Bagley. One foul on the other end and then one foul the other way, and it went from 2 to 4 in lickety-split fashion. So Charlotte will look to adjust. Meanwhile, the Blazers, who were victimized by foul trouble in the first half, I'm sure there's not going to be a whole lot of sympathy coming from the opposite huddle. As like I said about Charlotte at the half, okay, now you've got a weakness, and that weakness is no Bagley. So how do we exploit it?
Yeah. Well, it was a 14-point lead, and I know they've only eaten into that by 2. But you take away the scorer's malfunction, it's a 10-point game here. The Blazers have come out to play. They have definitely figured out how to stop this powerful Hornet offense. They've limited the Hornets to only 2 points in 3 minutes and 35 seconds. That's phenomenal. That is a way to get back into this one. Now, on the other end of the court, with Bagley on the bench, can they muster an attack? Saleas, Tisdale, and of course, Pollard will be a big part of that. Pollard now has 2 weapons. Tisdale's behaved himself in this half. Hey, I know they're down by 12, John, but I like their chances.
Behaved himself is a great way to put it. He has had the restraint, not to play as aggressively as he did in the first half. So it is Blazer ball, trailing by 12. Caden Bagley, who has been the leading scorer and finest player on the floor for Charlotte thus far, now on the bench with 4 fouls.
What a difference a call makes.
Here comes Pollard. And Pollard handing it off on the perimeter weave to Saleas. Saleas reverses course, got a great look, but unable to finish it is Ramos. But transition turnover and then a foul on Ruiz.
And you can see for the first time a little bit of panic setting in on Coach Powell here as he's seeing things go against him. How will his team respond? They are taking it out on the chin now.
Yeah, you heard him just bellow across Charlotte. Slow. And that is money in the bank every time for J.P. Pollard. Cannot afford that type of positioning, and guess who usually defends that area? Bagley.
Exactly. Just like we drew it up. Now it's the Herman's turn to attack the weakness.
Ruiz, though, a nice seal there. Couldn't finish the first time. Second time, a different story, and Ruiz hollers behind the make.
Well, he atoned himself for that foul in the best way possible, putting 2 on the board.
Ruiz yelling, "Let's go," as he gets back on the defensive end. Intensity wrapping up here in our second semifinal, but Pollard blowing on by, and there's just no resistance.
How about that pick that was set by 32 Ramos? That was outstanding. You could hear the coach, Preston Howell, saying they're holding. I don't know.
Transition turnover. Nobody got held there. Right back to Powell. Another deuce for J.P. Powell, and here come the Bennett Blazers.
That foul on Bagley looming large at this point.
How long can you play without him if you're Charlotte? 14:50 to play. Great feed there from Smith. Had to have it. Forstner coaxes it down. It's a 10-point lead, but it doesn't feel like it because it was just an 18-point lead a few scant moments ago.
Right. The momentum certainly for the Blazers. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Ramos trying to feed Saleas, and a whistle and a foul, and it's going against the Blazers.
Lane violation.
Yep,
one of those rare instances where the coach shouted out, "Hey, that's three," and actually got the call.
44-34 is our score. Tisdale on the floor for the Blazers. Bagley not on the floor for the Hornets, but they got good position for Lewis, and that was
Smith.
Not a great defensive set there from the Blazers. Just not a lot of energy.
No.
Too easy, in other words.
Exactly. They need to make this difficult for the Hornets. Their defense has been so staunch. Now they've given up 8 in the second half and had held them to 2.
Can't trade baskets even with Bagley out. Wants the three. That looked perfect and was for J.P. Pollard.
I think what felt like about an hour for him to set up for that one, right, John? And then, boy, did he bury it. Slow motion poetry.
It's a 9-point game. First time it's been in single digits. Second time in this half. And misfire. And the opportunity for Smith. Smith can't believe it. As Pollard turns it back outside to survey the scene. Pollard needs some help. Saleas provides it. And left all alone, floating in, unable to convert. They forgot about Liza Robbins. Robbins nearly made him pay for it.
Yeah, but Tisdale picks up his fourth on that one, and that's going to be a game changer. Again, we talk about the difference a call can make, and now Bagley coming in with 4.
Yeah, Marquise Tisdale does pick up his 4. He's looking at his coach, and I was just about to say, I don't think he's coming out, though.
No.
Because with 13:05 to go and Bagley back on the floor, you just can't afford it. You play until you're out of chips, as they say in Vegas.
Well, I don't know if you noticed it, John, but when Tisdale looked at his coach to get words of wisdom, he gave the biggest puppy dog eyes I've ever seen out of a big man. So
yeah, sorry, coach. Please let me stay in the game.
Like the puppy who had torn up the couch cushion, right?
Yeah, well, you're talking about my puppy yesterday. Full time out on the floor. So, twists and turns and ebbs and flows, you'll get that in a game of this magnitude, the national semifinal here at the junior varsity level. Still a 9-point game, so let's balance it out. Tisdale's playing with 4, Bagley's playing with 4, so even up. What needs to happen for the Blazers to continue to make their way back into this game as we welcome you into our broadcast location. There you see Todd Pettit. I'm John Laser. Next to me on my left is Court Schneider. We thank our entire crew today, but the question remains, Todd, they were able to take half that lead away, and that was huge. Tisdale, the second to 4 fouls beyond Bagley. Couldn't have seen that coming at halftime. Now this is the reality, still a lifetime on the clock.
Yeah, Bagley's now back in the game. That will eliminate the easy looks inside for the Blazers. They're going to have to hit those outside shots. Heat up J.P. Pollard, take the threes, make the threes. That's a way for them to get back into it. On the other end of the court, they have exploited a little bit of a lazy defense by the Blazers here in the second half. If the Blazers had played with the same intensity all the way through, they could be within 5 on this one. So this will be an interesting shakeout. The Blazers need to step up that defense, but Charlotte has seemed to find a way to score, and Bagley is a big part of that. Let's see what happens.
9-point game, 12:53 to go, coming out of the full timeout. Blazers ball with no backcourt pressure from the Hornets. Pollard, long range 3. That one looked good too, but just didn't quite have the thrust on it.
Smith just got in at the last second to maybe be in the corner of his eye.
Had he hit that, there would have been some real cause for concern for Charlotte. And Saleas able to get a hand in on that pass, and Lewis will have to throw it in again. And cross to Ruiz. Ruiz being ridden to the corner by Pollard. Bagley, so impactful in the first half, couldn't find it there. Tisdale was able to defend without fouling, and Smith's going to pick up the foul. Kind of just wrong place, wrong time for Adam Smith. That's his 3rd. His coach was telling him that's 4, and Smith says, "No, it's not, Coach. Settle down." I saw Smith motion with the 3 fingers. He got the 2 in like the first minute of the game, and he played with it till that point. That was hilarious. Pollard got it to Tisdale, rolling in, couldn't finish it. Can't ask for a better look than that if you're the Blazers.
No, and Tisdale usually soft-touched.
Smith ahead to Ruiz. In fact, the Hornets can find a better look than that, and they convert it, lead back to double digits at 11.
Only the 6th through Ruiz, but he has been big on defense.
Tisdale And that time he gets it to go.
Starting to see how that offense is opening up for the Blazers now with multiple options for J.P. Pollard.
Backcourt pressure, and you see the back picking. Saleas keeping Bagley from the front court, but that opens it up for Forstner.
Yeah, and it's that lackluster defense. That's the wrong word. I apologize for that word, but it's just a defense that's a little too porous right now for where they are in this game.
Here comes J.P. Pollard. And just lacking that intensity that is difficult to maintain all throughout the game. Great look there. Second effort over compensation from Tisdale. Too strong the first time. Overcompensated and came up short the second. Now Charlotte trying to get back much of their lead, and Ruiz couldn't find it.
I think the coaches, Gwenna needs to call off that full court press. It's not serving them well. It's leading Charlotte to open opportunities. Lucky there, Ruiz could not convert. Call off the press, coach.
Yep, the worst defense is a bad full court press. Good teams with good spacing as the first field goal goes for Ramos. Teams with spacing and poise can break that press. Charlotte has both. This time Forstner, though, looking around. He doesn't want to handle it too much this far away from the hoop. But now here he goes. He was able to meander his way through back to more familiar terrain and makes it pay off. So Forstner fought through some of that uncomfortable space on the floor.
Forstner, great chair skills there to create his own lane. Sometimes your teammates set it for you. He did it all himself, one-man wrecking crew.
9:36 remaining. Pollard and the Blazers trying to overcome what was an 18-point deficit. Pollard down low. Tisdale couldn't get it. Did get it back, though. Pollard sneaking in. And fighting Tisdale. Motored over. Couldn't quite get there in time. So more opportunities for the Blazers. And just not able to convert those opportunities, and that along with the play of Charlotte, the reason they trail by 11.
Yeah, needed to take advantage there of some of those inside looks.
Look ahead to Ruiz, and he banks it home. Great find. The coaches saw it first, but the players on the floor saw it in time.
I think Charlotte has figured something out here. They offensively have looked so strong recent possessions.
Yes, got it. Great look from Pollard. Bagley. Oh, what a great feed from Smith to Forstner.
Yeah, Forstner hurried that one, but again, fourth possession in a row where they've had a great look at the lane.
Rapidly getting down towards the under 8 portion of this second semifinal. That is where possessions start becoming critical, one by one. Pollard, head fake. Got the space, didn't hit the shot.
Saleas did everything he could.
Battling for the rebound, came away empty, and now Smith has the breakaway. And got it to go. Preston Howell, his coach, said, whoop. Didn't get it to go cleanly.
No. It goes down as 2 on the score sheet. And again, the 5th possession now in a row where they've had a great look.
Pollard had to have it and got it. The 3 in response to what was the 8th fast break basket of the half for Charlotte. And again, here they come. A press breaker. 10-point lead. Pollard has been the lone man of resistance offensively for the Blazers much of this afternoon. Side to Bagley. And you could see Tisdale had to settle back there, let Bagley do what he wanted, and Bagley contributes for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, who would have thought so many fast break opportunities for Charlotte? We didn't see much of that the first half at all, and that's been the story of this second half.
Well, it's hard to ever say a look from Pollard isn't a good look, but that wasn't the best from JP there. You understand why he took it with 7:08 to play.
Each possession critical here, as you just mentioned, John, and that's one he'd probably like to have back, maybe set up a little more.
Bagley. And Ruiz and Forstner. Third time. Continues to just elude him somehow in some way, and Tisdale took it down for the Blazers.
What's not eluding the Hornets, though, is the wide open looks in the lane, just at will getting in. It's been a tale of two halves.
And yeah, I was going to say, Tisdale was out of control, and he'll get called for that offensive foul, and he is done. That is 5 for Tisdale. So Marquise Tisdale picked up 3 of those in the first half. Lasted till 6:39 to play. Blazers already down 12. And that is going to do it for Marquise Tisdale.
Yeah, down 14 at the half, only winning this half by 2 points, and now you lost one of your offensive and defensive specialists. Boy, they've got a tough mountain to climb, but it starts with a hold here.
So Tolu Ojo will come back to replace Tisdale, fouled out of this game. We also saw the return of Andrew Peffley onto the floor for the Blazers. And Charlotte took advantage of the absence by constantly feeding Bagley here. Trying to set up Bagley again, it would appear. Ruiz instead will take it himself. Bagley, though, does emerge with the rebound. And again. And a timeout taken by Charlotte with 6:07 to play. Full timeout, 14-point lead for the Hornets. And you know, you talk about past the victory sometimes. For the Blazers, you got J.P. Pollard, and you also always have a chance. But without the now departed Marquise Tisdale, it's hard to see that path.
Yeah, we've played 14 minutes here in the second half, and as we've settled nothing in terms of the second half. Both teams matching each other's output, but that does not favor the Blazers as they now time against them. They need to do more than just match. And Bagley's been part of the difference. Tisdale out, there's going to be a whole new game plan. Odd that Coach Howell taking a timeout in prosperity. I'm going to borrow your phrase again, John. I can't imagine. I wonder what he's saying here. You're up by 14. Things are going their way. Is he making adjustments, or is this just a
no? This is a don't take it for granted timeout right here. I actually like it quite a bit from Preston Howell, and just saying, look, guys, we're there. We know what's in front of us. Let's not start thinking about the championship game just yet, just because Marquise Tisdale's on the bench over there. Play your game for 6 more minutes, and you'll get a shot at Lakeshore tomorrow. But the plus-minus, Todd, tells the entire story that we've been trying to tell with Tisdale in the game. +2 for the Blazers with him on the bench, -16. Yeah. So, again, and that's a great stat for us provided by Court Schneider here sitting with us as the third member of our broadcast team. So, again, that path to victory, not impossible when you got J.P. Pollard, but very, very difficult. Always the one behind the scenes making us look good, right? That's exactly right. With Nikki DeSantis up there providing our replay coverage. If only they could find that age filter that subtracts 20 years from our facial. Yeah, every time they come down here, I'm like, oh, man. Who's that old guy? Soleus off the mark. Ojo offensive rebound. And out ahead to Adam Smith. And Smith, instead of engaging Ramos, pulls it back up. And the clock is the ally of the Hornet. Bagley turning the corner. Smith fading away. And Pollard racing out in front. So Pollard burns the defense of Charlotte in transition. Certainly Blazers back within 12. They're going to give it everything they've got down to the final horn here. Good look by Pollard. He's got 11, and that was a smooth and speedy entry. Forstner, a couple of shot fakes, and then coaxes it in off the glass. Biggest smile we've seen from Preston Howell. Every passing basket for Charlotte creeps them closer to victory at this point with under 5 to play. You know, Forstner quietly has 14 here. Yeah, he does. He's picked up the slack while Bagley was on the bench. Wasn't the exact same role, but many similarities. Ojo. Short on that shot, able to distribute, and the field goal goes for Landon Brown. Brown's first field goal of this semifinal.
Brown coming off the bench, big smile on his face, contributing to the Blazers.
Ruiz been so good throughout the game, couldn't get that one.
Adam out.
JP Pollard controls the basketball for the Blazers. Down to Ramos, could have gotten a foul on Ruiz there. Call didn't come, neither did the basket, but it'll stay on this end.
Yeah, impressed with the way the Blazers continue to fight. Now the time is really, again, the margin for error is just about gone, but they continue to play hard and battle underneath.
Saleas has been battling all throughout the game and thought that one was going to get the shooter's kiss to go. Long outlet from Bagley to Smith to Forstner to too strong is what it was.
Forstner probably could have put the icing on the cake at that point.
Hornets didn't use a lot of clock there, and Pollard unable to make that costly on the other end. And again, sending flyers down the floor here repetitively in the second half, and that has proved to be fruitful for Charlotte.
Great adjustment by Coach Preston Howell, seeing something in the defensive scheme of the Blazers and exploiting it to great prosperity the second half.
14-point lead, 3 minutes to play, and the ball. Tried to throw out, but it just wasn't thrown with enough force. Pollard picked it off. Pollard takes it in, and Pollard scores the basketball. You can see Coach Herman for the Bennett Blazers saying, hey, you got to cover those players streaking down the floor. Smith to the middle of the lane, but Forstner had set up shop there and committed a lane violation.
Yeah, on that basket, Pollard picked up his 29th point. I don't know that we've seen any other athlete here on this court score 29, so certainly doing everything he can to be a one-man wrecking crew, but time waning.
Yeah, we have not. I think Pee Wee Kemp could have done it yesterday in the quarterfinals had he needed to, but game was in hand and kind of decelerated, did Lakeshore.
Yep.
Well, it's chalk coming into the day, 1 through 4. And barring a miraculous turnaround, it's going to be chalk coming out of the day into Championship Sunday with 1 versus 2. But Smith, however, turns it over. Live ball turnover, and Pollard's going to get into the 30s. 31, and a timeout taken by Charlotte once again to steady the team.
Well, like you said, they're going to need a miracle at this point. They have 2 or 3 natural possessions coming. But down 10 on that replay there.
64-54. You see Adam Smith, very emotional player. When that's good, it really charges this Charlotte team. But you can see he was upset with himself, and then as his coach, Preston Howell, was trying to say, hey, calm down. You know, he was about to defend himself, and the coach said, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. Okay.
Yeah.
And kind of calm down the situation. That's great coaching, and it's just a passionate player is what it is.
Love both of those elements, right?
Yeah.
Without passion, what are we?
So Charlotte huddling up there, you see on the left side of your screen. Over on the right side, it's got to be stops, and then you have to value each possession, but you got to do it in a hurry. And I know those are contradictory statements, but that's the predicament you find yourself in if you're the Bennett Blazers.
Yeah. John, that wasn't rhetorical. Without passion, what are we? We're actuaries. There you go.
There you go. Well, you have passion. It's just passion for numbers.
Oh, well, there you go.
And your family.
Oh, there you go. Sounds good. Well, hello to them if they're,
by the way,
watching
right now.
now.
It took you 2 days.
You did mention your wife, Renee, a couple
of times.
And your dog, even more than I mentioned my family. All right. I'm in the doghouse.
Yeah, Steve the Pug's gotten like 7 shout-outs before the Pettit family gets mentioned. Sorry, Pettit family. I'll take it upon myself tomorrow to say hello. Todd's doing a great job representing you here. Man, Minnesotans all over this place. I know you're not a native, but your wife is, so we'll take it.
There you go.
Talking to coordinators of this tournament and affiliates of NWBA. Heavy Minnesota influence for sure. And we get a foul in the backcourt. Fouls to give, though, for the Blazers to trigger the bonus.
Hey, Noah, 2K it.
Pass comes into Bagley. Bagley is fouled by Soleus.
Those intentional fouls there, his first 2 for Soleus. So while he's lacked a little bit on the offensive production, he certainly behaved himself better than his teammates, perhaps. Tisdall, notably.
That was a dangerous pass. They got through to Bagley. Gets it out, and they'll tap Ruiz. And put Spencer Davis on the floor, I think. Just to commit that foul. The next one will be the bonus. So next one will be a 1-and-1 situation. That is what the Blazers are trying to get to, and they will foul Bagley to put him on the line. So front end coming for Caden Bagley. Fouls against Ramos.
I always wonder how the officials make that decision. Both 23 and 32 there were all over Bagley. And which one do you call, John?
Well, whichever one that has aggravated you the least. or the most.
Or the most,
say,
yes,
yeah.
there you go.
I had a great familiarity with a lot of the officials in the ACC when I was working at Virginia Tech, and it's funny, you watch and you're like, oh, they've got to be unbiased and they don't hear what's being said to them. That is absolutely not true.
They hear everything. Huh?
Yeah, they get players grumbling at them, they remember it. They get coaches that they feel handle it in the right way. They remember it.
Is it forgive and remember, the saying?
I don't know. No, I think it's just about, there's a reason to work the officials. They don't do a lot of it.
There you go.
This weekend. Blazers empty trip off the missed free throw. And a minute 19 to play. You're going to kind of get this slow march in either direction. And again, that's the predicament that the Hornets have put the Blazers in here.
Looking directly across at the Blazer fans, one with headphones on, got his hand on his head on his hand, his chin kind of dejected look, and I think that's the how all of the Bennett Blazer Nation is feeling right now, just a little bit shell-shocked by the offensive output of the Hornets.
There's J.P. Pollard off another free throw miss. Gets it ahead to Spencer Davis, who hasn't gotten much floor time, but out there now on a critical point. And this is Ramos, and he gets it to dance and fall. So don't go anywhere just yet. 8-point game. Hornets still in control with under a minute to play. Trying to get it in, and they do to Bagley. Hand it off to Smith. No foul given thus far by the Blazers, and now it is committed, and Smith goes rolling across the floor. Not in the way that he desired.
I remember, if you remember those childhood toys of the 70s and 80s, the Weeble Wobbles.
Yeah, I wasn't about to reference it, but yeah.
I'll do that for you. I'll take the embarrassing ones. This is exactly what Smith looked like, kind of rolling on the floor and then popped right up.
Yeah. And we had some other dangerous toys back then, too.
Jarts. How about those?
Pogo stick. Yeah, the long jar. Darts, yeah. The pogo stick, the stilts. We had them all.
And we survived it.
We did.
Barely.
Smith finally converts the free throw. So that's how you put a game away when you're being fouled intentionally. 49.3 seconds to go. It's a 10-point lead for the Hornets. And just forcing Pollard to use time before getting into the front court. Back behind to Pollard, free to fire. Couldn't get it.
Good looking shots.
To Bagley with 30 seconds to go. Throws it down the floor. Smith is out in front, and that should do it for Buzz City. Didn't stop the clock on the made basket, which is the rule after the 1 minute mark. So they'll put 24.1 on the clock. They gave that basket on our score bug the wrong way. It's actually a 12-point lead. And so that's why I say probably all over but the shouting. I would be surprised if the Blazers commit another foul after this possession.
Yeah, 68-56 is the score right now.
Pollard couldn't add that, but Soleus had a chance at it. Second chance, no. And the final seconds ticking off as that one falls. And that will do it. So final score will favor the Charlotte Rollin Hornets as they defeat the number 3 seeded Bennett Blazers. 68-58 is that final score.